shooting this shit. Totally good with that.
Yeah, exactly. Like the ranty rant. Let me get my clapper out for you. Hold on a second, honey. Because that makes my shit happy. Oh, and it's a swear zone. It's a swear-friendly zone. Yeah, exactly. You ready for this? Guys, that's Peter Shankman.
Let's do it.
Happier than a fat kid with a cupcake. You know what I'm saying? So, so Peter, so I'm Mia Voss, everybody. Welcome. You guys, this is one of the first shows I've done since I ditched the Mia Connect Power Chat so I could take a hiatus. And then I'm watching Blog Pause on Friday. My good friend Denise Wakeman was there. And she's like, Peter Shankman's going to speak. I'm like, I know that name. I've heard of him. And then you get on stage. And it was all over but the shouting. I'm gonna toot your horn. Are you ready? I'm gonna do it again. That sounds awful. So then you get on stage, and so I'm walking around. It's Friday morning. I'm in Denver, getting my coffee, and you start talking, and I'm like, who's this guy? And I am like laughing my ass off, talking at the phone, talking to my Periscope, listening to you. And I was just down. First of all, because we're surrounded by millennials. I just turned 50 this year, so to hear somebody actually talk in these like social structures or talk as if who grew up in the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of fun to actually have that kind of context. I mean, people grew up with John Hughes movies, right?
Oh my God, story of my life.
That's gonna be one of my questions, but I'm gonna ask it right now. What's your favorite John Hughes movie?
Probably Say Anything.
Really? That's a bold statement.
John, wait a second. Did I just lie? Was Say Anything John Hughes? Yeah. Was Say Anything John Hughes?
Say Anything
John Hughes? No, I'm totally screwing it up. Say Anything was not.
No, that's Christopher.
No, that's Chris. No, my favorite John Hughes film is Adventures in Babysitting. No, that was Chris Columbus. What the fuck? All right, hang on.
I know, I'm like, dude.
Hang on. Stop.
You know what? You made me believe it. I bought it for a second because it's you.
Who was Say Anything?
That is. Hold on.
Cameron Crowe would Say Anything, of course. No, I mean John Hughes.
Cameron Crowe.
Is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes.
So that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Ferris Bueller is probably my top two.
Yeah. Pretty.
Even Some Kind of Wonderful in '87 was pretty awesome.
Now
that I'm looking, but yeah, I think anything after Some Kind of Wonderful. Well, She's Having a Baby, which was '88, was pretty awesome too with Kevin Bacon.
Was that John Hughes too?
Of course. Yeah. Any movie that takes place outside of Chicago, in a nice house, is usually John Hughes.
Anything that's in a suburb of Chicago, you could pretty much, Dude, what about Weird Science?
That's why I thought Adventures in Babysitting, but that was Chris Columbus.
That was Chris Columbus. Say Anything was Cameron Crowe. I was actually living in New York at the time. I lived in New York from '88 to '95. That was fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can live there.
I was in high school in '88. I graduated in '90. Yeah. And I went to school in Manhattan. So. Did
you go to the city?
I did. High School of Performing Arts.
Did you move out and then move back, or have you just stayed in the city?
I went to Boston for college, grad school in Santa Barbara, DC for 2 years working for AOL, and I moved back to New York.
That's right, because you have your grad school story about photography. Under the guise of getting educated, you're just looking.
Oh, of course. Hey, let's walk around with the camera.
Yeah, you're just looking to throw down any second. Hey, that's not stupid at all. Listen, what about Weird Science, though? Come on. I mean, I don't think I could watch Weird Science without saying every single
Weird Science. Weird Science was a great film.
Yeah, that one's good.
Weird Science was a great film. And then what was the film? It wasn't John Hughes, but it was the one with not Heath Ledger. Who was?
Oh, 10 Things I Hate About You.
No, 10 Things I Hate About You was amazing. No, the other science film about the kid, or maybe it was Weird Science, where he goes to high school, he gets into a college program. What was the movie where the kid gets into college?
That's Real Genius.
Real Genius. That's what because that wasn't Heath Ledger. Was it not Heath Ledger? That was
no, it was Val Kilmer.
That's right.
Ledger. Back when Val Kilmer was hot, and now he's just. Val Kilmer is one of those guys. I told you we were going to riff in general. Val Kilmer is one of those guys that I see that and I kind of think, when did they become Ted Kennedy head? You know what I'm saying? Like Vince Vaughn is the same thing. Like Vince Vaughn
totally.
in Swingers. Oh my God, he's banging hot back then. And then all of a sudden, he's just like this giant, and I can't figure out. And Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, well, he's the dad bod. And by the way, that shit doesn't work. Because I have dad bod, and I don't have supermodels lining up to blow me. So there's definitely something going on.
I've been lied to. I was lied to. By the way, let's see what kind of coffee mug you got going on, Clinkies.
What do you have today?
I have.
Fourth be with you. That's my daughter's birthday. My daughter was born May 4th.
She's in May the 4th. Be with you, baby.
May the 4th, baby. Yep.
Yeah, do that. You can't plan that.
No, I got my water in a New York Post page 6 mug.
All right, so tell me, because now you're so fancy and popular. Tell me about the John Oliver thing.
Yeah, I didn't know it was happening until my phone started blowing up around midnight. Of people texting me going, dude, I saw you on John Oliver. Apparently, so I was on Al Jazeera Thursday night talking about FIFA, and apparently they...
Which sounds like a rabbit to me, but I know what it is.
And he took my clip from FIFA, and basically made it his rant, the closing point of his rant. And yeah, I got like 10 seconds, and then he said, agree with him, and I was floored. So I'm like, fucking A, huge.
You know what? That's pretty positive. I know what you said in one of your other talks that I was watching, because yeah, I was stalking you this weekend. If you felt slightly uncomfortable,
no, it felt good actually.
That was that weird sensation.
And it felt good. I was just ooh.
Yeah, ooh. I feel funny, in a good way.
In a good way. To show him where he touched you. Right? show us on this doll. Right?
Maybe this will make some kind of weird.
What's the line in Family Guy where he says, "And now back to Touched by an Angel. Where did the angel touch you? Here, here, here."
Those are my favorite, like the random segue things.
Oh man.
What? Exactly. I don't know what the hell I was saying. Oh, sorry. Escaping the shadow of Google. You're saying that and I agree. Anything and everything will be recorded and found out. I know that's probably advice you give to people, because you're like, dude, now especially like look at this with Periscope. I mean, and
this is me being my ADHD kicking in. I just got this in the mail. It's my custom molded IFB for my ear. It's made out of my ear, and it goes in when I'm doing TV. You know, and it connects to.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just sick of using like the one they have in studio, because you have no idea whose ear it's been in like 5 seconds earlier.
Right.
So I'm just gonna have my own made, and it's really cool. I like it.
You know what I think you should get though, Peter? I think you should get the thing like Lando Calrissian's assistant. Yours, you know what I mean? Remember how he had that white thing
I
around?
remember that white thing. Yes.
Like boop, 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 boop. Like that. That's the alternative. I like that. You're kind of nerding out. I think I want to steal your lunch money with that thing. That means you're you are ready to throw down and be interviewed on a consistent basis.
Pretty much.
Hey, tell me, let's pick your brain. How did you get the CNN gig? I think the thing you do with Super Bowl is fucking awesome, dude. How fun is that to get on and just go, I like this?
I have a blast. I mean, I love being on TV. I would do it more if I could. CNN basically just calls me. You know, they called me last week. They call about once a week, and they're like, "Hey, we're doing a story on whatever. Come talk to us." I'm like, all right. So I show up, and I usually figure out what I'm going to say about like 5 seconds before I go on the air.
Welcome to my world, brother. It works best that way.
My favorite is when they say, "Mr. Shankman, you're 10 seconds away. Can you please stop taking selfies?" So that happens too. But no, I just go on TV and I talk, and they tend to like what I have to say. So I do CNN, I do Jazeera, I do CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox. Do a lot of Fox. Yeah, it's fun.
It is kind of fun. I think it's, what's fun is just to get discovered of like that you're being yourself. So you're being letting your freak flag fly, which is fun. So then what's fun about that, and I know from doing my show, because I mean, look at me, I got shit like a Mickey Mouse hand. I've got this. This is my other fun prop, because Mama's a booze.
Wine.
I took this with me to Italy. I was in Italy for 3.5 weeks for my birthday, and literally packed this in and just walked around in vineyards, and they're like, what is wrong with her?
Well, the funny thing is, I'm quickly starting to accept my my role as the guy who could just be shut up and paid off with alcohol. Like I was speaking. I spoke at a conference as a favor to someone. I spoke to their employees a couple of weeks ago, and I come in the other day. And there's this giant bottle you can see behind me of Patron Silver.
Oh dear.
Just sort of, hey, thanks so much for talking. I'm like, wow, this is nothing. Nothing good will come of this. This is great. So, it's just.
Yeah, and I think it's now on the caveat that you actually film when alcohol is being consumed.
It's funny. I will do. I will go. I've done some beer 30 conferences and things like that where I talk under alcohol, but normally it's just a lot more fun to get everyone else drunk.
Oh my God, it is fun. Now, have you ever seen that show called Drunk History on?
Drunk History is brilliant. Drunk History is a brilliant television show. I'm a big fan.
I've never seen anything like it. I was actually picking up a friend at the hospital, and he was all hopped up in goofballs, so he doesn't remember it. But I'm sitting in that hospital like, are you kidding me? Because they have these crazy actors and actresses that somehow have agreed to like, yeah, I'll mouth the words to that. Hey, hold on. Oh, Bill Reed is saying hi to us. What's up, brother Bill? He's up here on that too. Yeah, I've decided that I'd say anything booze, alcohol. But now, are you following a lot of stuff on Periscope? Did you get a chance, or you're?
No, I'll be honest. I've been following a little. I just got onto. I'm an Android person, so I just got onto Periscope like 10 seconds ago.
Like last minute.
Like 2 days ago, yeah. So not so much. I started using it during my speech at Blog Pause, but primarily I'm just like I'm not that into it yet. It's one of those things that I think would be brilliant. Had Google Glass not died, I would have totally used Google Glass with it.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to just show the world what you're looking at through your eyes. It's another to be like, okay, I'm here, and So we'll see if it takes off. I mean, I can imagine it being fun. Like it's fun. Like next time I do TV, I'll set up Periscope to go live as I'm doing it.
Yeah, and can you see like what kind of nerd alert thing I got going on here?
Yeah, seriously, oh my God, you're worse than me.
You know what? It's all like fun and games until Mia gets like, look at this thing. You need one of these. This thing scares all the boys. I'm just saying. Then I put this up so I could meerkat, and then that. Whoa, hey now, spoke too soon. Yours has a condom on it though.
I was gonna say unlike you, I use protection, but if nothing else, you've made me want to have dinner with you more. So
Yeah, you need one of those Walgreens clown noses on.
Well, every once in a while, because the ADD in me will just play with things. So I'll just be like, and my phone will ring or my assistant will go, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like nothing. Why?
Can we give a shout out to Adam, by the way? He is just so
Adam
cute.
is the shit, isn't he? Adam's pretty awesome. We love Adam.
Well, you be careful because.
No, he's locked in.
Is he?
What do you think? I'm stupid? My last assistant stayed with me for 7 years. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking a big game because I know you can tell he got back to me. So
where are you based? Where are you?
I'm in Denver.
Okay.
Yep, I'm in Denver. I've been doing. So my credo is basically I've been doing the Mia Connect Power Chat. Now I'm doing basically helping brands put a face to their business, but with kick-ass videos, right? Because I've seen so many videos lately where people are like talking like this, not looking at it, or they're reading, or droning. Yeah. So I'm helping people because with the interview style type of thing. But the other thing that I love why I started doing this is because I just like talking to cool people doing cool shit.
Why not? My first happy hour back in like late 2008 was in Denver. I threw one when I first started Harrow. Jeez, almost like 8 years ago. That's crazy.
You never feel like saying Harrow whenever you say that. I
always said Harrow, but yeah, it was Harrow. I just got really lucky with. That was just an idea that I came up with, and that shit just took off like wildfire. And when it was acquired, it was it was a game changer.
Right?
That was a game changer.
Yeah, but those are the kind of ideas that I'm loving, that they come out of nowhere. It's not like when you started it, there's that end game.
This is my latest game changer.
Hi, girlfriend.
Her name
what did you say when you sell 10,000 books that we can rename her?
Yeah, if someone buys 10,000 books, they can rename her. I always thought it'd be cool if a corporation did that, like call her like Sprite or like Kia or something like that. But
yeah, it's always funny until it's Massengill.
Well, the best thing I ever did was, well, a friend of mine actually sold his naming rights of his name for a year, and he wound up becoming like Jason Surfer App was his real name. But I reached out to some friends of mine at not Massengill, at the Tampax, and I'm like, you guys got to do this. You just got to do it for me. Just do it for me. Give him 30 grand, 50 grand, whatever. Because I just want to call this son of a bitch Jason Tampax. I really want to do this. But I
would just do it under the caveat that I could use the word snatch.
Exactly. Yeah, way too many jokes that I'm not going to make. But no, Jess is pretty cool. She's 2 years old. The best way to get her that I named my daughter was to make my wife assume that it was her choice of the name. So I presented my wife with like 10 names that I knew would never fly deliberately, so that when we presented the one I liked, she'd go with it. Because if you think about it, like Suzuko Shankman really wouldn't happen. So as long as I presented her 10 horrible ones, so as soon as the real one came, she's like, I like that one. I'm like, sweet.
You know what though? I think the Suzuko Shankman sounds like a superhero.
Suzuko Shankman would be a totally awesome superhero.
Right, that could be her nom de plume or something when when she gets older too. So, yeah, right. So when did you? So Hero sold. You had the Geek.
Geek Factory.
Yeah, that. And so then, how many? And you've written like 4 books.
4 books. I still have Geek Factory. Geek Factory is like the holding company for all the stupid shit I try.
Right.
And then
I want to be you when I grow up, except I'm older than you, but I love it.
Written 4 books. No, you're not. And then yeah, I talk a lot, go on TV a lot, give speeches a lot. So it's fun.
You know what I'm loving? So you talked to you about, sort of finding your voice, which is awesome. I think that social media is really helping people kind of be their own. I don't know if you ever heard that Robert Fulghum story about where do the mermaids stand? Yep. I just heard that yesterday, and I was like, that's the best thing I've ever heard of the person who doesn't fit in, or the awkward one. What is it? Chris Brogan, the freak show on here at the Earth. I'm loving that that's more common now too. But
look, at the end of the day, I'm the kid who got messed up in high school, who always get made fun of. Now I'm just having a blast. Now I'm having a really good time doing things on my own, having fun.
Is it this?
It is. I got over that. Therapy, lots of therapy got me over that. I mean, there's definitely a part of me that is, kind of like, all right, well, look how good I'm doing. But the majority of it, you wind up getting over that shit just because you want to enjoy your life.
Yes.
And if you're constantly looking to try and prove yourself to someone else, look what I did. It's 30 fucking years ago. Who gives a shit, right?
It is true. It's a lot of energy. So I mean, I think you're saying, and with going through therapy, there is a period where you have to get that out and get all aggro and go through the FU period. But yeah, then the best revenge, I mean, it's just not even caring, and not even caring in a like FU kind of way, like I said, but more of like, hey, I'm going to be over here doing this cool thing.
Exactly.
This is what makes me happy. But I do love that you were saying that of the self-care type of thing. So realizing what lights you up, what doesn't work for you, hiring somebody to do the stuff that you don't want to do. Have you heard of are you an ambivert too, by the way? Do you know what that is?
No, tell me.
I don't think you are. It's an outgoing introvert. So
that's not a bad term for me, an ambivert. I like that.
Well,
that's not a bad idea.
You know what it is? I used to think I was a shitty extrovert because I would go to these events. I did a blog post on it. Joel Common had an event here at Chris Brogan, and I did a blog post because I was like, man, I don't want to go to this. I'm exhausted. So once I realized that I'm an ambivert, which means I love hanging out with people, but they drain me easily, then I say, okay, I'm only going for this long. I have an exit plan. I have a car. I can get out of there. And then I go home and get myself in an introvert sweater and just chill out and re-knit myself. But I thought about that when you were saying that in one of the interviews. It's like, figuring out what it is that really does.
Well, what's funny is I actually have 3 nights this week that I'm going out for events, and I think that's the most I've had in like weeks.
Yeah.
Normally I'm very much about, okay, I'll go out and then I'm going to come home and, I'm asleep by like 9 o'clock most nights.
Do people think you're just out running the streets? You're like, nah, I talk a big game, but I'm a
No, not. I like going to sleep super early because I like getting up super early. I'm up at like 4 a.m.
Speaking of, I was kind of bummed out with like getting up early. I saw the Manhattan Henge was kind of a bust the other day.
Yeah, it was cloudy. I was bummed about that. I wanted to see that, but no, I've gotten photos from that before. It's pretty cool when it happens. But I like going to bed early. I like getting up early. I like being alive, and like I can get more work done between like 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. than half the world. Plus, I can get a workout in. I can do whatever. Just like it better that way.
I take the magic hour between like 5 and 7. That's magic time.
Yeah, it really is. And I wish my gym in my building was open 24/7 because I'd totally been there at 3 in the morning. But as it is, it opens at 5, and I'm usually bike riding by 5:30 in Central Park, and then sometimes during the middle of the day. Excuse me, in the middle of the day, I'll take a CrossFit class if I can.
Nice.
For me, it's just like everyone's doing enough time. Fuck it, you find the time if you want to work out. And look, if you want to work out, it says me and my 14 chins, but
But you haven't seen the bottom half. That could be like.
I'm in surprisingly decent shape for having 14 chins. But hell, I've completed a couple Ironmans, so there's that.
You said that the other day. That's right. That is badass.
So I think that at the end of the day, you make the time for what you want to do. I really buy that.
Yeah, I do too. Well, and then that's the excuses thing. You see those kind of little things on Instagram and Pinterest all the time. All right, I want to ask you about this because I was reading your book this weekend, and then I'm thinking about the whole PR thing, the zombie loyalists. Listen, you had me at zombie, so just stop right there. Okay, Like that, I was laughing. I'm like, I'll read anything. But like you said, you think some people bought the book because they thought it was
Probably.
like, it's right. Until they read it, they're like, this is awesome. But I have this, what'd you say?
You broke up there. Go ahead. Try again.
Oh, sorry. No, but I was going to ask you this. This is something I've noticed. And I know we talk a lot about brands responding and things like that, but I've seen a lot of people who have a lot of big numbers, a lot of big, blogging numbers, Twitter numbers, followers, and they make a comment, and then all of a sudden the brands are responding to them, right? And they give them all this free shit. So for the normal person, because I love being a cheerleader, I tell people, go leave reviews on TripAdvisor, Google, Facebook. You like something, you go tell a bunch of people about it, just like what you're talking about. But I'm just curious, like, do you feel like that some people, I've noticed a lot of people on social media are posting, I complained or I did this, and Southwest and this hotel gave me all this. But how can those brands keep that up with the everyday person? Are they really going to pay attention if you only have like 500 followers on Twitter?
Well, here's the interesting thing. So a couple of weeks ago, sorry, my office mate just walked in, grabbed something, and slammed the door on his way out, so he's pissed about something, whatever. So a couple of weeks ago, I tweeted out, I was flying to Chicago, and I'd forgotten my glasses, right? And I'm like, oh, crap, I'm an idiot. I'm just going to go blind, not be able to see anything during my speech. And I tweeted out to LensCrafters, hey, LensCrafters, can you guys, if I show up at one of your stores, can I get a replacement pair of glasses, ASAP? And they replied, yeah, come on in, come to this store. We'll meet you at this time. Okay. So I did it, and people, and I posted online, wow, really pleased. Thank you so much, LensCrafters. Really did a great job, blah, blah, blah. And people said, oh, they did that for you because you're Peter Shankman, and you have a huge audience. And I actually wound up writing a blog post about this. These people pissed me off. And my premise was basically, actually, if they're doing it for me and they're not doing it for the normal person, then they're even stupider than if they didn't do it at all. Because now, if they did it for me and not for the normal person, then it's like, oh, yeah, well, he got it because he's Peter Shankman. When it came to me, my steak was cold or whatever. So here's a chance where LensCrafters showed off that they're awesome, not only for me, but for everyone. And, you'd be an idiot not to do that for the normal person if you're going to do it for someone who's and I hate to use this term for me, celebrity.
You're that guy?
No, I'm not. But so you want to be able to do it for everyone. And so, just typical, haters going to hate jumping online, but you got to be smarter than that. Simply have to be.
So I think it's a matter of brands balancing what their response is going to be and sort of having that equal response to no matter if you're this guy or this guy. And I just was thinking about that the other day, and I think brands really need to be aware of that, not getting too like, oh my gosh, I got to do that, and setting the precedent that you are going to give a suite to like every person that does that. So I think it's going to be a balance for brands for sure.
All you need to do is just be a little bit better than crap.
I love that. I was gonna quote you back to you, but you beat me to it. It's one of my favorites. All right, let's talk about rants. Give me some just random ass rants, whatever you're comfortable with, either in social media. My rant lately is I feel like everybody needs to stop pushing every Periscope that they think is interesting to me. It's gonna get on my nerves. That's mine.
I think that one of my friends, a girl named Lauren O'Neill, she works for the CBC in Canada. Her Twitter handle is Lauren O'Nizzle, and which gives you some idea of how old she is, and or how young she is, I suppose. And she tweeted something earlier today about someone wrote an article about how we live in a society where everyone's so quick to judge. If you do something stupid on the internet, how it can get you fired, and blah, blah, blah. And you could tell this article was totally written by a millennial who was just like, oh, we should be allowed to be stupid, and it irked me. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, when I grew up in the 80s, we didn't have cameras everywhere, and I did some really stupid shit in New York City in high school that I probably would be in jail for today. But you know what? I got away with it, and because there weren't cameras. And now there are cameras, so shut the fuck up and deal with it. Don't be stupid in public.
And it's that simple. You know what I think?
You want to be stupid? Take 7 of your friends, rent a room somewhere, leave all your cell phones outside, do whatever the fuck you want, snort whatever the hell you want, have a blast. But don't put it online.
Yeah.
And if you're going to live in this world today, you have to assume that when you're at the club, wherever the hell you are, someone has a video recorder. And it's no one's fault. Excuse me. It's no one's fault but yours if your brand is not perceived the way you want it to be.
You got to manage your brand. I had this happen to me in Denver once. There's some website, and it basically is where disgruntled people post shit about other people that they don't like, usually about women. This chick's a hoe, whatever. And I ended up being, it wasn't me, but some friends of mine, they ended up being, photographed along with this other woman. And it was on there. And ever since then, I was like, dude, don't ever stand next to me in a picture. It's kind of a suspect behavior. Not that she deserved that at all, but I just thought that was a weird example of it. I was like, and you just don't know, yeah, you got to manage your brand, but you're right. And stop whining. And I will say, I do feel very lucky of being in high school in the 80s because, there's only still photos.
I'll take it a step further. Remember when all those nude photos ran last summer when all the what have they called it? The fappening? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, well, why didn't these people take better care of their passwords? Oh, well, what would happen if it happened to you? And I'm like, well, first of all, it wouldn't. Look at me. There's no one, people would pay money not to see photos of me naked. But more importantly, the concept of, I'm not going to be seen naked, but I guarantee you everything I have, everything that's on my computer, everything that's on my phone is not only double password protected, but it's then double authenticated. If you're going to use the name of your dog as your password and you're a public figure, I'm going to find out the name of your dog just because I can. So I'm not blaming.
You're going to Instagram your dog. So
I'm not blaming the victim. What I am saying though is, if you want to post shit, be smarter.
Well, and what I love the phrase for that is be your own steward of your own stuff.
Love that.
The steward of your password, of who you hang out with, what you're doing. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but the flip side of that is that you can be instantly. You can do something, you're going to get on John Oliver, you can do all that, but you have to be your own steward of it too. So I think that is a little bit of a millennial thing. So
I agree.
But I have a feeling we annoyed the crap out of people when we were in our, teens and 20s and 80s.
I believe it.
Yeah, like people that are our parents' age too. So, all right, so what's next for you? Your book came out in January. What are you doing? What are you going to do now?
What am I doing? I'm doing a lot of speaking, a lot of consulting, a lot of what the hell else am I doing? I don't even know. A lot of speaking, a lot of consulting, a lot of writing, a lot of TV. I'm just having a good time. I don't know what's next, but I'm having fun for now, and trying to play with my daughter whenever she lets me. On the road constantly, living on a plane, which I love. And
I love it that you're just having fun. And I think this is one of the best things I think that have come out with the downturn of the economy and then everybody reinventing is it really is not, and especially when I grew up, it was never like work smarter, not harder, even sounded lazy, right? Now it's like, the fun credo, the fun factor is in everything I do.
You want to have as much fun as you can. Life's too short not to. It really is. You want to have a good time. And, at the end of the day, whatever you can do it. And if you have something you love, do it and work really, really, really hard at it and be the best at it. And, you don't, I wrote a blog post once called, "Why Don't You Do Some Work?" which was, and a now ex-girlfriend of mine called me and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, I'm at the W, about to meet someone for a drink. It was like 4 p.m. on a Wednesday. She's like, "Oh, why don't you do some work?" I'm like, "Well, that is work." That just because you're sitting at a cubicle and you don't get to do this doesn't mean I'm not working 3 times as hard as you. So don't say, "Why don't you do some work?" Call it what it is. How come you get to have this life and I don't? And anyone can have this life. Just work your ass off.
It's thinly veiled haterade. Yeah. It kind of is. And I think that does happen a lot, especially with people, who are doing online things. They don't get it, and then there is kind of a dog shaming, as I like to say. Like, don't dog shame me into that too. Yeah, put that on. Come on, do it. All right. Have you ever watched Behind the Actors Studio? Yeah, of course. Okay, so I'm stealing from James Lipton, and he can just meet me by the back bike racks at 3:00 because I don't care. Seriously, I like asking you a couple questions. Are you ready? Go. Another question. Paper or plastic? Paper. Nice, because you're environmentally clean. Over or under? Under. Because? Because under, when the cat paws at it, it won't go everywhere. I knew it had to be about the cat. Oh, cat name, by the way. What's the cat's name? Is NASA. Your cat's an asshole? No, my cat's my cat's name is NASA, like the space station. My cat is an asshole too, but that's not what I was saying. He's very, very, very proud of it. All right, now I'm totally stealing. Favorite swear word? Douche. That's a swear word? It can be. Like when someone's just saying,
douche. You know, like when I'm walking down the street and someone's making a left turn and I'm on my bike or something like that, and I obviously have the light, douche, you know, as I'm driving. So yeah, I think it can be.
That is a swear word, and I like it. Okay, and then I'm going to go for the old standard, because I do like that one, the pearly gates response.
The what?
The pearly gates response. What do you want to hear at the pearly gates?
Oh, God.
It's a good one, right?
That is a good one. I mean, there's obviously the easy answer is, oh, my bad. I meant Adam Shankman. But, you know, just, you know, I think the best answer, there was an episode of American Dad where all the kids died and they went up to heaven and they said, how do you know? They said, oh, everyone gets their own personal heaven. And the kid walks into his personal heaven and he said, how does he know this is mine? And a unicorn flew by and pooped out Limburger cheeseburgers for him. And he's like, yep, this is my heaven. You know, and so I think that the end of the pearly gate, you know, the pearly gates response would just be, you've done okay. Welcome. Come on in.
You know what I think would be a good one for you is now it's a party.
Or all the skydiving you want.
Before I close up, and don't hang up when I hit stop broadcast, but I do want to thank you. You guys, this is how stuff works, is that I watched Peter on the Hangout or on the Periscope on Friday during his presentation. He says, hit me up, email me right away. And this was me, right? Like a nerd. And now I'm talking to you today. So, you know, take a chance, reach out there, because people like Peter will speak to you, because he's cool and he's doing cool shit.
Try my best.
Thank you for joining. Tell me where we can find you. I know where I can find you, but tell everybody else.
My website is shankman.com. My email is peter@shankman.com. And my entire life on all of the socials is @PeterShankman.
And that, people, is called solid ass branding. Thank you.